The BGA, a piece by Elegant. That's me. Playwright's note. For simplicity's sake, all bureaucrat lines are labeled as 1, 2, 3, and 4. However, this is entirely arbitrary. The lines may be split up amongst however many people are necessary, with the exception of Bureaucrat 1. The genders and gendered terms of the characters are also entirely flexible. They do not matter. The lights are bright to an oppressive degree, like a hospital. In the background, you can hear a clock ticking. There are 2 sets of long tables laid diagonally on stage left and stage right. There are at least 2 seats with bureaucrats on each side of the tables nearest the wings. All the chairs should be the plastic, uncomfortable kind that are a nightmare to sit in. Between the tables, upstage, is a smaller, horizontal table, with 2 chairs holding 1 person each, facing the audience. 1 person sitting at the center table is the president, the other is vice president. Behind them is a projector, which currently displays a blank screen. Next to the president is a gavel and a large book. Next to the vice president is the remote for the projector, and in front of them is an open laptop. Everyone is dressed formally for a meeting. All of the clothes should look as boring as possible. No bright colors, no variations, nothing. The only exception is Bureaucrat 1, who may wear a slightly more brightly colored tie. There is at least 1 paper, schedule, at each person's seat, but some may have other documents of various unimportance. Everyone except President and Vice President are chattering amongst themselves. All right, settle down. The chatter instantly ceases. All attention is on President, who puts the gavel down. I hereby call this meeting of the Bureaucratic General Assembly to order. Has everyone signed in?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Now, I propose a vote to begin a written record of this meeting. Do we have someone in agreement?
Aye.
Seconded?
Aye.
Vote passed. Vice?
Yes, sir.
Vice President begins rapidly tapping at the laptop and continues to do so throughout the meeting. Wonderful! Now let's really get this show on the road. I propose a vote to begin the discussion upon the subject for which this meeting was called. Do we have someone in agreement?
Aye.
Seconded?
Aye.
Vote passed. Do I have a vote to begin the presentation on the projector behind me?
Aye.
Seconded? Aye. Vote passed. President grabs the projector remote from Vice President, who is too absorbed in their typing to notice. He presses a button, and a slide displaying a line graph with a downward trend appears on the projector. Now, I don't wish to alarm any of you, but it seems that our efficiency has been on a downward trend as of late.
Sir, I request a vote for a dramatic collective gasp.
Request granted. Does someone else vote in favor? Aye. Seconded?
Aye.
Vote passed. Proceed. Everyone gasps, as if this is the most terrifying news they've ever heard in their life. Once the gasp is over, all attention returns to President. I know, it is a troubling thing. I have assembled all of us here for one purpose, to discover what the problem is and shift the paradigm. Those in favor of opening the floor to ideas?
Aye.
Seconded?
Aye.
Vote passed. Well, any ideas? Come on, people! The bureaucrats all fidget in their seats. The sound of the ticking clock grows slower. Some mumble, others look like they're about to say something, but then change their minds. Finally, one speaks up. Once they speak, the clock returns to normal speed. May I make a suggestion? Does anyone vote in favor of hearing this man's suggestion?
Aye.
Seconded?
Aye.
Vote passed. What have you got? Well, it's about the font of our schedules. The font? Yes. You see, currently it's written in Arial size 12 single-spaced. Of course it is! We all knew that. Don't waste our time with pointless details. Of course, sir. But I was just thinking, maybe the issue is that our schedules are too difficult to read. Size 12 is fairly small, and making it single-spaced just adds to the problem. Maybe if we changed it up a bit, that would give us the push we need. You may be onto something. But this sort of thing carries a lot of weight, you know. We can't just go around changing the fonts of things willy-nilly. Believe me, sir, I wouldn't bring up such an important topic if I did not understand the full weight of my words. No, you're right. And you make a valid point. But such an important decision needs far more than a vote and a second. Something like this has to be unanimous. I'm willing to take that chance, sir. I admire your conviction. Very well. He has proposed an all-assembly vote. Do we have a vote in favor?
Aye.
Seconded.
Aye.
Vote passed. Now, all in favor of changing the font and format of all future schedules?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Everyone stares at Bureaucrat 1 in shock.
May I request another vote for a dramatic gasp?
Denied. Let's hear this one out first.
I was just thinking, sir. Is the font really the issue we should be focusing on?
What do you mean?
I feel that our lack of efficiency must stem from a deeper problem than something as simple as our schedule's font, you know?
An interesting proposal. Like what?
When you told us about the problem just now, I got to thinking, maybe it isn't such an easy fix. Of course! Don't you see? It's not something so immaterial. Exactly. It's more like the chairs. Don't you see? They're far too uncomfortable. How are we supposed to get anything done sitting in them?
Various ohs of realization from everyone except Bureaucrat 1, who just stares in shock and anger. The ticking of the clock speeds up. A very good point. We can't get to the work at hand if we don't have a good workspace. That's just the sort of forward thinking I'd expect from you all. The bureaucrats murmur happily, giving themselves a little round of applause. All except Bureaucrat 1.
No, not the chairs either. I can't be the only one who sees it, can I?
Sees what? I request a vote for you to clarify what you just said. Request granted. Those in—
Stop! You see, that's it. That's the problem.
How dare you? Do you know the consequences of interrupting a call for a vote?
I don't think so, no.
We'll have to call a vote to officially punish you. Then, once that passes, we'll open the floor to discussion of a proper reprimand, then vote on that, then vote to execute it. Do you really want to take that risk? Do you?
No, listen. That's just it. That's why our efficiency is so low. We keep voting on everything. Wouldn't it be so much easier if we just did all these minor things without the voting?
Everyone stares at Bureaucrat 1 like they're insane. The bureaucrat sitting nearest to them scooches their chair away.
May I once again request a vote for a collective gasp, sir?
In light of the circumstances, I am willing to use the precedent set by the previous aye vote to give you all blanket permission for the rest of the meeting. You may proceed. Everyone gasps again, except Bureaucrat 1. What is the meaning of this?
Look at us. We can't get anything done without voting on it first. We vote to bring up topics. We vote to vote on those topics. We vote on moving on to another vote.
Because that is the foundation of the democratic society in which we live. What do you suggest we do then? Fall into anarchy? Next you'll suggest we remove the schedule. One or two of the bureaucrats hold their schedules close to them, terrified at the prospect of having it taken away. The ticking clock speeds up further.
I didn't say that. When we vote on big policy changes, it makes some form of sense to go through all these procedures, and having a schedule is nice.
Thank you.
But we don't have to vote on everything. We don't have to put it to a vote if we breathe or not, right?
Don't be silly. Of course not. Because then we'd have to call a vote on each individual breath, you see, and that would take up far too much time.
But we're only a few steps away from doing just that. This meeting alone, we had 3 calls for a vote on gasping. How's that helping us get anywhere? Why do we need to vote to start talking, or vote to hear someone out? Can't we just call on someone and listen? Well, certainly. But that would require us to vote on whether to listen or not.
Excellent point.
No. No more voting on whether we listen. Just choose that for yourself, individually.
The word individually sparks a large reaction. All of the other bureaucrats hide under their chairs. The vice president shuts their laptop.
Dear God, you can't say such a word here.
You can't imagine the horrors it may unleash.
What are you talking about?
We cannot act as individuals here. Individuality spreads the seeds of discontent. Just look at what's happened to you. The moment you started to think such horrible things, you brought this whole meeting into chaos.
You dare to question the holy scripture that is Robert's Rules of Order?
Vice President lifts up the large book that was next to the president. It is labeled Robert's Rules of Order. It is as thick as a telephone book. The ticking clock is the fastest it's ever been, almost like a time bomb.
Yes, I do.
Bureaucrat 1 stands on top of the table. A dramatic spotlight is on them.
Look around you. This isn't efficiency. This isn't innovation. All we've ever done is reinforce the same old rules over and over and over again.
Well, I'm tired of it. I'm not putting up with it a second longer. Fellow bureaucrats, rise up! Free yourselves from the shackles of Robert! The bureaucrats peep their heads out to look at Bureaucrat 1. Today we make our stand! I won't vote to speak my mind, I'll speak it. I won't vote to listen, I'll use my ears. Let's have a discussion. A real, proper discussion where we can go back and forth without voting on whose turn it is to speak. As Bureaucrat 1 speaks, a red dot appears on their head. The other bureaucrats notice and return to their previous hiding spots. President and Vice President nod to each other. Just think of it. A real, productive exchange of ideas without... President gives a thumbs up, looking slightly above the audience. A gunshot sounds. The lighting returns to normal, and the ticking clock stops. Bureaucrat 1 falls backwards off the table and onto the floor, having been sniped. The remaining bureaucrats sigh in relief. That's quite enough of that. Now, let's get back to the topic at hand. Come, back to your seats. The bureaucrats return to their seats, recovering from the shock of Bureaucrat 1's outburst. Once they've all returned, the president and vice president give each other a satisfied nod. Vice president reopens the laptop and returns to their notes. I request a vote to have the body removed, sir. Ah, good thinking. A corpse in the workplace is unacceptable. Far too distracting. Do we have another vote in favor?
Aye.
Seconded. Aye. Vote passed. Vice, if you would.
Of course, sir.
Vice President drags Bureaucrat 1's corpse off stage, then quickly returns to their seat to continue with their transcription. Much better. Back to business. Any other proposals on improving efficiency? Don't be shy, I won't bite.
Oh, maybe it's the tables?
General murmurs of agreement from all the bureaucrats. That's a good suggestion. What sort of new table do you...
Mr. President, sir, we're out of time.
Ah, pity. Very well. I propose we table the table discussion until the next meeting. Do we have a vote in favor? Aye. Seconded?
Aye.
Vote passed. President lifts the gavel as if to bang it again. Blackout. End scene.